Hari Om friends, today we are going to discuss about awareness and consciousness as Nisargadatta Maharaj has explained it. Maharaj says that awareness is of the absolute and therefore beyond the three gunas. Awareness is gunatit, whereas consciousness is something fed by and limited by the food body. When the food body is destroyed, consciousness also disappears. Mind you, no one dies. Mind you, no one dies. The body made of five elements mingles with the elements when it is lifeless. And consciousness, which was the subject to three gunas, becomes free of the gunas. Awareness is the primordial, original state prior to the concept of space time, needing no cause, no support. It simply is. So, in these lines, Maharaj is saying the absolute is gunatit. It is from the functioning of three gunas. And consciousness is manifestation, and for that, a food body is needed. And Maharaj also explains that nobody dies. We feel that I die, you die, anybody dies. No, only the body dissolves. Because your reality, that is the absolute, it remains always. Awareness remains always. What he says, only body dies, means the five element will dissolve into five elements. The vital force will release into the air, and consciousness will be free from the functioning of three gunas. However, the moment the concept of consciousness arises, on this original state of unicity, the sense I am arises, causing a condition of duality. Maharaj says, original state, primordial state is absolute of pure awareness, on which arises the consciousness in the form of I am. And when the sense of I am arises, it needs a food body and a duality is created. So, in manifestation, always there is a duality. Consciousness is with a form, a reflection of awareness against the surface of matter. He says consciousness needs a form, and consciousness is a reflection of absolute, reflection of awareness, for which it needs a form or a matter, surface of matter. So, this body is a matter, a surface of matter, and in that only the consciousness can arise as a reflection of pure awareness. One cannot think of consciousness apart from awareness. There cannot be a reflection of the sun without sun. How nice example he says. If sun is not there, there will not be a reflection. But there can be awareness without consciousness. Like the sun can be there without its reflection. But the sun's reflection cannot take place without the sun. In deep sleep, for example, there is no consciousness. It is resting. But awareness is certainly there. What a good example Maharaj says. Because on waking, one is aware of having slept, but only on waking. Maharaj says, when you are into deep sleep, there is no consciousness. Consciousness is at rest. When you wake up, then you say, you become aware of having slept. Means awareness was there. Somebody was watching. That is the awareness. Maharaj never allows us to forget that consciousness alone is our constant companion. This consciousness, sense of I am, is our best friend, constant friend. At other point, Maharaj says that it is the only capital you have. And it is the continuous attention to one's stream of consciousness that takes one onto awareness. If my attention is already focused, always focused on the consciousness, then it will be a step towards realizing the reality, that is the awareness. According to Maharaj, the very consciousness of being conscious is already a movement towards awareness. Or you put it other way, if you are conscious of consciousness, that means you are moving towards your real nature, that is the awareness. When the mind is directed towards the source within, it is almost like the beginning of a new life. In our practices, what we are doing, our mind is outgoing and we are trying to take it inward. So he says it is a beginning of new life. Awareness replaces consciousness. In this way, when we are trying to take mind inward, finally what will happen? The sense of I am will be replaced by the awareness, the absolute. The I am is a thought in consciousness. It will cease. In awareness, there is no thought. Awareness is the source of consciousness. Maharaj suggests that it is an excellent spiritual exercise to sit quietly and watch what comes to the surface of mind. What we call thoughts are like ripples on the surface of water. Thinking always leads to identification or condemnation. Thought will make you to identify with certain things, or it will lead to condemnation or criticism of certain things. It is the product of preconceived notions and stands in the way of real understanding. Maharaj says that thinking can never give you the true understanding because thinking shows some kind of conditioning based on thoughts. Just as water is serene when free of ripples, so is the mind serene when free of thinking, passive and fully receptive. So, what Maharaj says, you be just silent, let the mind remain quiet, stay into I am, and you will find your beginning of mind inward has started, and that will be a big step towards realizing your true nature, that is awareness. So, friends, in these two paras, Maharaj has very nicely explained the difference between awareness and consciousness. Awareness, he tells, it can be named as Avyakt or Parabrahman, and consciousness is Vyakt or manifestation. Consciousness is kind of reflection from the awareness. So consciousness cannot be separate from the awareness. Awareness is the source of consciousness. But awareness can definitely stand at its own. And he gives a very good example of sun and sun's reflection. Reflection of sun is not possible without sun, but sun can stay without its reflection. So Maharaj says, The tendency of mind is always outgoing. But once you turn your mind inward to the source, then you have taken a big step towards your journey of realization of your true nature, which is awareness. And Maharaj says that when you are alive, when you are in this body form, this consciousness is your constant companion. And what you can do? You can just remain conscious of that consciousness. And this will be a beginning of your journey back home. And very consistently, if you pursue in this journey, in this practice, you will find that your sense of I amness or your consciousness has merged into its source, which is the ultimate reality, which is Parabrahman, which is our true nature, which is called realization of reality or realization of self. So Maharaj has very nicely summed up everything into Paraj. So we conclude this discourse here. Hari Om.